All right, we going live now.
We live. We
It
live.
says we're live. There's always a delay. Hey, people, we're
I'm not
here.
always sure if I'm actually alive, but okay.
No, I better make this.
But
All right, so tonight is week 3 of December Nano. As you guys know, that some of us have been doing December Nano if we did not get a chance to do it in November. But as you know, this is the weekly write-ins that we do on Tuesdays, and it's on my channel this week, and next week it's on Aphrodite's channel. So I'll let everyone do their introductions. So you just, for newbies, Josie here. You just introduce by your name, what you write, what you're working on tonight, and then we can go from there, and I'll work my way around. So we're just gonna start with Josie down here.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Josie Rose. I am a Wattpad author of my fantasy slash thriller series, The Plague Wolf. I mostly write fantasy, but what I'm working on tonight is book 2 of my series.
Awesome. And AL.
Hey, my name is A.L. Williams, also known as Alec. I'm the author of Immortal Scars, currently available on Amazon. It's a paranormal romance. And I'm working on, I don't know.
Something's gonna happen.
I finished my edits for the book 2, so I'm trying to figure out what to do.
I know, right? You gotta figure out what to do next. Like, what do I do now? Aphrodite.
hey, everybody. I'm Aphrodite Lee, which also makes me an AL, just saying,
Yep.
and a Lee at that. But I'm not sure what I'm going to be working on because I started rereading some of Shattered so I can read along with people and try not to laugh at them. But I think I'm gonna be working on maps for another series.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna be doing, but I don't know for sure. Depends on if DL gets in here. If when he gets in here, if he tries to challenge me on writing, then I might have to show his ass up. But
I'm gonna be the inciting incident that I was born to be.
oh, yeah, Alec the instigator.
We know I was an instigator. The eldest actually messaged me and said his mom taking them out to dinner, but he still get on when he gets back. So he's a little bit later than he thought. But he'll be here after 10.
He just scared.
I do have one thing
to say.
I have one thing to say that I forgot to say when we went live. I was lucky that I was in a car because I would have flipped a table. That's all. I was reading your book.
Oh,
I would have flipped the fucking table. Hey, I'm sorry. I was ready.
All I have to say on that is, you just have no idea.
Like it just gets worse. I'm just saying. It gets worse.
Shattered.
It gets worse. It's emotional book. Like you're gonna be just so angry, and then I know things gonna happen in book 2 and 3 because of course I'm the alpha. So you not ready. I'm just warning you. Like you try to be ready, but you're not ready.
No, this book. 1 minute you think everything's like good, you're happy, you get the warm fuzzies, and then she just smacks you in the face with something else. Great. It's great.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
It's like a freaking bipolar episode.
Yeah, that book. I'm telling you, like if you don't have Shattered, then you guys need to pick it up. I'm just telling you, like it's a good read, no lie.
But
as you know,
Alex made me laugh though, and I'm looking at. He sends me the little icon, and the person is kirking out and crying, and I just bust out laughing. I'm like, what kind of person laughs?
It's great. If it was a good
way
cry,
to help
it was a good cry. It was a cry of intense hate.
I can't wait for you to finish. I can't wait.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, you think you messaging her now? You really gonna be messaging her?
And I'm finally like where I am in the book, though. I've decided that I was right when I said your art was reminding me of Utena the Revolutionary Girl. This book reminds me of that show.
Really?
So much. The things aren't what they seem. That's very prominent in that show.
Oh, that is a great compliment. Thank you.
All right. So you guys know, as I'm author DL Tillery, this is my channel, and we do these streams every Tuesday on my channel or Aphrodite Lee's channel. I write horror, mystery, romance, paranormal. I write everything, but I am predominantly a horror writer. So if you get one of my books and it has horror elements in it, do not be shocked. But I will warn you ahead of time. Um, so I will be working on one of my short horror stories that I plan to release in probably about May 2020, Room Within, which I did release the first chapter. So I'll be finishing that up, which it did end up extending a little further than I originally planned it to. So that's very interesting and fun. All right, so I'm gonna check up the chat really to see if anyone posted what they're writing on tonight. So if you did not, then please let us know what you're working on tonight. Let's see who's here.
I need to write. I'm gonna write.
Carol is here. Hi. Locked up Lucy. Hey.
Carol so much.
Cachet, thank you for joining. Jennifer Brown, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Steven's here. Oh yeah, happy birthday, of course. Sag is in the house. Leora, hi. Let's see, Lucy. Let me pull up your so I can read it on screen.
Lucy,
probably.
What did you say?
Like Lucy said, working on my first book, an urban fantasy based on the lives of the parents of the Titans and other Greek gods and goddesses. I'm 75% done, and my zero draft. Good job.
Awesome.
Sounds very interesting. I love those stories, so I will definitely be one of your customers. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm
so happy to be here. I wasn't going to write today until I got notification that you all were writing. That's right.
Peer pressure.
Hello, Diana.
Yeah, it's the best kind of peer pressure. Productive peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
We're very grateful for you as well, Lucy. Thanks for joining us. All right, let's see what everyone else is working on. Let's see. Hey, Jen. Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good.
Working on?
I'm waiting. A few people popping up. Just trying to catch up. I'm doing good. I had to. Oh my God, I had such a tough day at work today. I thought I was going to be dead. Right, you guys may or may not know I run a cleaning business, so I go out into the field and clean. So I was cleaning, and I had to push a lot of people into today because yesterday's snow in Maryland, my vehicle does not handle well. Even though I have intermediate SUV, they put traction control in my vehicle. So I found out last winter that it's not good in any kind of terrain at all, which I'm pissed about, but there we are. So I plan on getting rid of that next year because it's no good to me.
Right.
So it's no good to me. So my day was good, but it was really tiring. So I'm still writing though. I will write. Let's see. And so I'm going to try and get some more done on my Nano draft. Good. Sapphire Cloud. My story, Broken Souls, tonight. Okay, cool.
Broken Souls. Wow, I like that.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Cachet. So I'm working on my outline for the retelling I've been working on. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Love. Let's see. It's a romance, Sapphire Cloud said. Hi, Destiny. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
More than Mario.
Yeah, we waiting for DL then. All right.
He'll be here soon. He should get in sometime after 8:30, probably, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I can't wait to finish.
Yep. Jennifer Brown said, I'm down another rabbit hole. Thanks to Carol Brown. I read one of her short stories and it intrigued me so much. I want more information about the subject matter.
Yeah.
Diana said, we got the fun weather in CT today. I hate that weather. Everything all ice. Ice. No. Yeah, I know. I really hate it. I mean, I could drive in it, but with that traction control, it cuts my power in half, like going up hills and it slides around too much. It's supposed to stop accidents, but it will actually cause accidents. So people can't drive on dry terrain. I'm not dealing with that. So I am a very good driver. Never had an accident, and I'm not going to be in one because somebody's a dumbass who can't drive.
Right.
Let's see. P.S. I absolutely love Carol Brown's writing. Oh, you got love, Carol.
Yeah, I checked out her first.
Hey, Devon. Devon's here. Thanks for joining.
And coming to my release party.
Oh,
yes, she did. Working on my dragon story. Yay. Dr. Lisa, I just sold my 1969 Chrysler 300 because I'm moving into the mountains in a month. Woo, the mountains. What type of vehicle do you have so I can avoid it? I have a Chevy Equinox. Any series of that from a 2011 to a 2015, don't purchase it because they have an Ecotech engine in it, which is a faulty engine that GMC knew that it was. So that's why they have a class action lawsuit right now against them. And it will eat up your oil, and it will, my oil is getting eaten up and going through my exhaust system. So they want me to get an engine overhaul. I say, go F yourself. So I'm just going to ride it until I have to trade it in next year and get a different vehicle. So I got screwed pretty much.
Damn.
But yeah, I don't personally drive American vehicles. This is the first time I ever purchased one since I had my Jeep when I first started driving. Ever since then, I've had Asian vehicles and I had no problems. Their horsepower is stronger. I can drive in weather, go up hills and all that jazz. But I got a Chevy because I wanted, the payments were good on it and all that stuff. But look what turned out. So yeah, no. I wanted a Honda, but I had to get a Chevy. So I'm kind of sad about that. Jennifer said, snow is pretty, but I don't have to drive in it. Be careful, y'all. Yeah, snow is pretty to look at, but for us to work outside the house, guess what? It could go away.
Which is again why
go away. Yep. I'm with you on that.
I personally hate snow. Like, snow can go away and go somewhere else for me.
I feel you on that.
I will admit that I don't like driving in it, but I didn't mind driving in it either. I don't like it. I would prefer to never.
I don't mind it. If it was no one on the road but myself, I wouldn't care.
Right.
But people are idiots. They can't drive. Like every day I'm driving, I almost had head-on collisions all day. Every day I'm driving to work because people coming over the line not paying attention. You know how much I have to wail on my horn? I'm like, it's ridiculous. You can't even pay attention for 5 seconds to drive a mass vehicle of destruction. It could kill someone. Like,
they don't think about that. It's a phone booth to them.
Apparently. Luckily, so I used to old school and warm weather. Yeah. So this will be a change. I'm moving to Reno. Woo.
Oh yeah, that's
God bless.
Nevada.
Yeah. Woo. Aphrodite. Devon's Aphrodite, your release party was so much fun. You gals know how to throw a party. We try. Yeah, stay away from that one.
In the author table, though, to be honest with you, was seeing that table and then seeing all the books go away. That was
awesome.
I was so proud. I was like, my friends did this. That's right.
That's right. All right, so we're going to start our first sprint at 20 after, if you guys want to chat about anything else, because we do 20-minute sprints here. So we're going to start at 8:20, and then we're going to sprint into 8:40, and then we'll come back, chat a little bit, and do another 20. So we at least try to get 20s in until we stop. So I'm going to run longer because some nights I have to run, but I'm going to stream till after 10. So then I have to run. But I'm going to stream till after 10, so a little over 2 hours. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now. If anybody else didn't post what they are working on tonight, you can post it down in the comments, and I will read that out loud what you were working on. Is anybody else here doing December Nano?
Yeah,
some of us are. I know I am.
I'm doing it.
A lot of people did November.
Rosie, what are you doing in for December Nano? What was your plan?
My plan?
Mm-hmm.
Probably this December, I've been trying to finish plotting book 3, and then January I was going to start writing book 2.
Okay, cool.
Oh, is it a trilogy?
It's a series. There's 6 books.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
I was gonna say because I do the same thing. Like I wrote all of my books, and then went back into like the first ones, and then really beat them up and wrote them out to get them out. Like the other 2 books for my trilogy are done. They're just not good. They need to be made good.
You gotta add the meat and potatoes, as she used to like to say. Well, she had the meat, but she had the potatoes.
I don't usually
have dessert.
For the glass quarter, I have to. For my other stuff, I don't really have to do that. But this one is for making sure that I have certain things planted in each one to make them make sense as they come around.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, Aphrodite, don't forget the cake too.
The cake. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
don't forget the
adding.
cake.
I didn't. You'll see when you read it.
She always does that. She does write the meat, then she writes the potatoes and veggies, I suppose, and then she adds dessert in. She says, you know.
All I know is table flipping. That's all I know.
Now, all I'm ever going to see when I get to that scene is somebody flipping the table.
Yep.
Like, what?
My God. So roll it up in the air, you know.
Clear, everybody who's listening, there ain't no table flipping in the book.
It's me.
It was Alec doing the table. Alec doing table flipping. Alec did table flipping. I punched a hole in the wall. That's
the book just makes you.
I was like, motherfucker. Yeah, dude.
It's like I'm not one.
Oh my God, I can't.
Look, I really did. So my son just looks at me like this, like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong? I'm like,
he too funny. Steven said, I'm jumping back into my urban fantasy after working on other projects for a few months. Cool. Urban fantasy.
Oh, my son is still mad at me, by the way.
For what?
Because you got valedictorian. And he don't understand how he didn't even get a certificate, let alone valedictorian.
Because I'm awesome. I mean, I can't really help it. I mean, I could maybe try to teach him how to be awesome, but I don't know if you can teach that.
Boy, your name in the book. you got the book dedicated to you. What you want? He said, I don't get no certificate. I gotta make him one.
Don't make him no certificate, girl. Like, no, he don't get one. Punch him in the face. Yeah, Cachet said, dang, sounds like I need to be careful where I read your book, laugh out loud. Yeah, Cachet, please.
Oh, you don't even know. You don't
do it in a public place. Like, don't try to be like, oh, don't do that. I'll be like, I'm gonna skim a little bit of this when I'm in the Barnes and Noble or something, then I'm gonna buy it. Like, wait till you get home. Okay.
Don't read it in public.
You know what?
Stay away from
Aphrodite book, don't be reading them in the public. Like, okay, don't let her trick you. Like, her other alias, Minx Canoach. Like, if you buy her books, don't be reading those out in public. And then, Minx Canoach write erotica. Like, don't do that. You can't. There's nothing that can help you in public.
You can't with Minx.
You need to be home.
No public, no tables, no walls to punch. Just sit in the middle of the room, like on your knees, just read this book.
I honestly never read Aphrodite's book.
It's really good. You're gonna have to get it when you get a chance. So and it's I think Amazon, the ebook is like $9.99 or something. But if you could get it, like, you have to check it out. Like, it's really good. Her other book, I don't know.
You to drink.
Her other book is erotica.
The other book
is erotica.
It's so remotely different from each other. Like,
yeah, they're very different.
She old enough. She old enough to read it. I'm just saying, like, if you can't handle erotica, then don't even touch it. But this one, Shattered, is nothing like that. It's the opposite. Like, it's not like that.
Yeah.
So.
Shattered.
Guys, we're gonna be sprinting in 1 minute.
Yeah, we're done flipping out about the book now.
We're gonna sprint in 1 minute. So I'm gonna police you guys after the opening. So 20 minute sprints, and then we're gonna do 5-minute talks and then 20-minute sprints. And then if we get close to the end, then we can follow.
Devin, a cold drink, a fan, an air conditioner.
You're listen, straight jacket.
Listen. I told her she should be selling like fans or something with her book.
When I do a book,
or something,
I'm gonna bring fans. I'm gonna make fans. I'm gonna bring them with you. Everybody who buys Encounters gets a fan.
No, you need a dark
I'm gonna say
face on it.
Shattered, yes.
Nobody knows that though. Nobody knows
for Encounters. For Encounters, you need a fan and a cold shower after. All right, so let's go ahead and start our sprint.
We might need
we
some
will
coffee
see you
for this. Because Aphrodite's going to get wild in here.
She always does. What you talking about? You'll learn. Uh,
Alex,
so let's go ahead and start our sprint. I'll count us out, and we'll be back at 8:40. 3, 2, 1, and right. See you guys in 20.
I gotta go off camera for a minute, but I'll be back.
If anyone's wondering where Josie went, Josie will be back. I think she said before 10. She had to go because her mother, they needed to she needed to go with her to do something, I believe. But she said she will be back, so she had to drop out real quick. So she had actually she had to help take care of her mom, so she had to help her with something, probably health wise, I'm not sure. But she will be back. So um yeah. But if she's not, I told her she can always join us next Tuesday. Um but just she'll be back soon. So personal stuff she had to take care of. Okay, that's time. Probably like 2 minutes ago. I got into the scene. My bad. Oh, So everyone, let me know how you did in the chats.
I
How
was
do you do,
thinking
Alex?
I had more time. I mean,
How'd you guys do?
I technically 604,
Okay.
but I'm only gonna claim like 357 of it because I
Okay.
had to move some stuff from somewhere else that was already done to fix
Okay.
something else. But then now I still got to go back and fix that because it's still missing like a very crucial part of the damn scene.
Things.
Rework the
Okay.
outline again. See, this is why I tell people don't get all caught up in like, oh, if I use the outline, it's for me. No, because I got to rework this one because I got to move a scene.
That happens, you know. What about you, Alex?
I am playing with Patreon right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
You have a Patreon?
I'm trying to build one.
Oh, okay.
Trying to get it done for
I
the
have
first
one, but I'm
year.
not gonna.
It's
I
fun.
have one, but
You
I'm not
get to
good.
do like I have a series that I'm writing just for patrons, and that's fun.
Okay.
Yep, that's a good
There's so
idea.
many things you could do in there, and I'm doing a choose your own adventure, and I want to do it in Patreon first. That doesn't start till like January, February though, and I want to do it in Patreon first before I do it on like my website or something because I'm doing it for the fuck of it, but I'm not sure. Like I've never done it before, so I kind of want to work out the bugs too at the same time. You know, if that makes sense.
Yep,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Because like I know the story. Like if I was doing a choose your own adventure kind of thing, and I know what I would choose, so I kind of want to write that out and then write out all the other stuff. And I have this big ass spreadsheet for the other things that go along with it. That is some crazy stuff, you guys. If you ever want to practice your writing skills, try to write
Mm,
one of those bad boys.
sure that.
I'm trying to master the short story, which is a lot harder than it looks, so that I can start offering those to my patrons.
I have no
Mm.
gift of short storytelling.
I wish I could teach it,
I wish it. I
but
wish
I'm
you
not sure I
could too.
could.
I wish you could too.
I'm
I,
just trying to figure out how you tell a cohesive story, but keep it short. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, what I mean, it can short story can work with any genre, but it's just you kind of have to sum up.
you gotta have the gift to be able to
Yeah.
fucking do it.
Well,
Like
I think you probably can learn to do it,
Somebody could tell Little Red Riding Hood and get you to get the across the whole story in 5 pages, and another person would have to take 50 pages to do the same thing. I
I
ain't got
wish that
that
I had.
5 page gift.
Listen, I'm
I
willful. I will keep trying.
I mean, I think it's more like summing up. Like when I wrote The Room Within, and it's a short horror. I just started it where I wanted to start the story from. I told that one in like first person perspective, so it was from his perspective. So no narrator. But I told it from his perspective, which also that actually helped, which is new for me. I don't write from that perspective in general. But his end was pretty gruesome. So I didn't with horror it works very easily to tell a short story because with horror you do not have to tell details of where the villain or monster or whatever has come from, why they're like they are, anything else. You don't
That's
have
true.
to.
That's
You
true.
can. You can, but you do not have to.
In
When you
fact, I
start
think it's better when you don't.
yeah, horror is more gives that ominous feel. Don't know why something is happening. So I know that it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to write short horror stories than it is to write other genres as short stories. I mean, you can do it if you are inclined and able to do so. Like fantasy to me would be a harder one to write a short story, but I'm sure I probably could pull it off.
I wouldn't
So
try.
anything I have more
I
problem.
wouldn't
Like some people
try.
be like, I'm halfway through my writing my book and I got 65,000 words, and I'm looking at them like, excuse me, what now?
And see,
I
but
mean,
that's
I don't.
definitely me. That's definitely
Mhm.
me.
So I have no problem ending things. I have no problem getting to the point quickly. If anything, I would have more problem like trying to stretch it out, so to speak. That's funny since I'm writing a 3-part book series, but my first book is probably only going to be about when I'm done cutting and I'm doing a little bit more cuts before I send it tomorrow. It's probably like 55,000 words probably.
Well, see, you got everybody who has trouble like me to write short stuff all need my first AD, because we'll sit and because he always has to rub his head and roll his eyes and bury his face when we're talking, because I have to explain my story, which I am terrible at anyway. I write better than I talk. So I'm already, in the negative, but I'm explaining the story, and he's like, okay, Aphrodite, so what is the story about? And I'm like, well, this little girl, and then she's like too little to be out in the damn woods, but her mama sent her out in the woods anyway, because then they got to go take care of the grandmother, which the mama should be doing her damn self, but no, she sends her child, and I'm telling him the story, and so he'll listen, and he'll go like this. He goes, so basically the story is about a little girl wearing red who gets abducted by a wolf. Yeah, that's what I said. And so yeah, and he.
I mean, I get that, but it's
always
like
have to break my shit and bring it here. I cannot do it.
I know. Well,
I'm not caring that it don't hurt my feelings no more that I can't do it. Like literally,
I think someone can learn.
I get in my writing.
Think it's learnable.
It's learnable.
I just want to figure it out. Like I'm trying to figure out how to squish all
it's learnable
information in.
Well, let's say if you're writing a love story or whatever, obviously you're not going to run through how their relationship completely developed. If they meet each other, you're not going to be like, oh, if you do need time to pass, you have to pass it quickly. You have to be like, oh, 1 year later or some shit like that. If you need the people to believe that the relationship developed into this love, then you need to think about that in that sense. Like if I'm telling it in a short span of time, I can't be like, well, they went to blah blah together and this happened and they became more, connected. You don't have time for that shit. If you sum it up, then you have to say that this happened and this is the result. Like you can't be sitting there telling the exact all these details and spanning it across the entire book. You have to think big, but in a small way.
You see, what I mean? All that stuff that DL just told you. This is what you do. You write that story, then you give it to her, and you let her read it,
and then sum it up.
And she'll surmise that.
I'm gonna be a summer upper, apparently. Like, funny. All right, let me check this chat real quick.
I could have told this whole chapter in one paragraph.
Oh my
Dude,
God,
I am very fucking willful. I will figure this shit out. I will.
You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. All right. All right. Diana said I got 251 words. Carol said I fed Mr. Brown and started working on another art commission. Awesome.
I fed Mr. Brown.
Hey, Persephone. Thanks for dropping in.
Hey, sis. I cannot write a short story. I'm going to try, but wait a minute. Don't get me wrong. I wrote a short story. My first story was a short story. And it was because we got the prompt in class. That's how I started writing. And they were like, yeah, finish the story. So I wrote that. It was short.
Right.
My problem is
with short story ideas. I probably could do it. Like if I had that, like that was an easy story to tell, and it needed to be short. But I couldn't.
Right.
I don't have no condensed versions of Shattered.
See, my problem is that like I have a short story. But now it's at like 11,000 words and it's not even half done. And I'm like, shit, I got to do something about this.
Well, it's still, if you can sum up, in another 11,000 words, you still got a short story. If you can sum up in another 20,000 words, you still have a short story technically. Are you getting up there to a full-size novel?
Technically, it's a novella, so it was short.
It still was short, right. However, to me, like you're getting to be a book when you're getting closer to the 40,000 mark, you know what I'm saying? But I can write a short story in 500 words.
See, that's what I want. I wanted to keep that short story no more than 10,000 words, and I'm like at 11,000, and I'm like, what do I need to do?
You're like, what happened? You're like, what happened here?
You need to let it be 11,000. It's still short. There you
That's
go.
still short, but I mean, when he
I
said
can't
that,
even write
they ain't done.
500-word story.
But you only
That
have
ain't no.
Because
That's not no 11,000 word story because he ain't done.
my
Got
fucking,
more coming.
trying to think, my synopsis are, you talking about a 500-word story? My synopsis are more than 500 words. Like, this part I just have on my page is like the 602 words
Mm-hmm.
was part of a scene.
Well, I mean, I could do it if I need to. I could do it. I have them in different lengths. I wrote a short story. It was 500 some odd words. I wrote one that was 1,100 words. As you know, Room Within could stand alone on chapter 1. That is now considered chapter 1. Be a short story. They could make a horror movie out of just what I wrote there, and that was only 2,000.
Script version, and we can produce it with my company.
Right, exactly. So it's only 2,000 words, and I wrote a story because there's lots of horror poems and short stories that have become full-fledged movies because horror is just it's boss like that. It could do that. It's a lot harder with like a romance story between a couple or whatever, or it's harder for fantasy, I think, but it can be done and has been done.
Yeah, because we have our short films are short stories. And I'm the only one of all the directors who has trouble with short stories. Every short film that I have made, that if y'all see some of my short films, they've all just been scenes from my features. I have two actual short films that I wrote that were short, that were meant to be what they were, and every other film I've made over the past like 15 years are just scenes that I felt told enough of a story, but are from a bigger story. And no one catches that. Like when I'm doing the premieres and I'm standing at the theater and I'm like, yeah, well, this is what was happening on production. This is what we did on set. No one catches that. That is a bigger piece of a whole nother. I mean, a small piece of a bigger film. So I get away with it, but it is not my gift. It is not my gift. I wish. You know how much fun I would have with that? Oh my God. I would do a short story every fucking week for my patrons if I could do it.
I know, I feel you. But, I feel like that's what I feel when people saying crazy shit like they're halfway through their damn story and it's 65,000 words. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? Aren't you done with that? What you about? And they'd be like, well, it turned out to be 120,000 words. I'm like, all right, epic, just walk away.
It's at 62,000.
Right?
And
I won't have that problem.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. I can't even fathom 100,000 words. I can't fathom that shit.
This shit is way more than 100,000 words, but I am gonna cut it.
Maybe one day something will happen with that. I don't know. I can't say that won't happen. But again, listen,
but
it's not happening today.
For real, epic fantasy. So I ain't mad. Like one thing I don't do is I don't care about word count at all in any way. I don't care what anybody says. Like out in the world. Oh well, if you do more than 25,000 words, then that's a novella. I don't care. Then I wrote a novella, or I wrote an epic.
You know what? Those rules were made for traditional publishing. So just saying.
But I understand. I don't have a problem with the rules. What I'm saying is I don't care what I end up writing. So if I end up writing something that falls to epic,
okay,
then
a book is a book.
Novella
a book is a book.
Yeah, it's the last word. The bottom line is it's a book.
Guess what? When I put that in a book form, it's a book. Like I said, people don't realize how things work. Those guidelines and rules were set up for traditional publishing.
And it was set up for a good reason.
It's for business reasons, selling to a market of people who they think, oh, well, I'm not getting enough for the prices that the publishing companies would set that they want to sell for so they can make money back. So they set those rules in place for a reason. So it's a systematic thing. No matter how you look at stuff's set up for a reason. So no, I'm not going to sit there and be like, look, your book is 32,000 words. This isn't a book. I don't descriptively pick like, okay, well, we calling it a novella. We can call it whatever we want. It's still a fucking book. So I don't even want to hear nothing about none of that. Like,
right. That's what I
say all the time about that. Like, stop coming at people like, woman said, well, my book is blah, blah, and they were like, your book is not a book because you said it's this amount of words. I'm like, why don't you go sit down, take several seats with that? That's what I don't even want to hear you. So anyway.
Yeah, but I don't care. Like, the labels don't bother me at all. Like, but I just don't care. Like, I don't shoot for a XYZ amount of words ever. Whatever the story ends up being at the end. And then we get to the end, it's like, oh, it's 50,000 words. I don't care.
Diane said, I feel like some stories want to be short and some stories want to be long. In some cases, this is true.
Yeah,
that can happen. You could tell more the want to be would be if it implies that you're reading a story and it seemed like it wanted to be short and the other one wanted to be long, and it just seems like it shouldn't have been either or other way. So
I have come across some of my stories where not so much that I think they're going to be short, because again, I'm not lying when I say I don't have to give, but I definitely think that they're going to be shorter than what they end up being, and they end up being twice as long. Like, I think Encounters were one of those. Encounters wound up being double what I projected.
Right. I think that what I feel about that is that you will see more of that in people who are definitely to try to follow the rules of word count. Also, and more towards traditional publishing because they have to follow the rules. It's just a fact. Because you don't want to be that writer that's pushing words in the book in order to fluff up their number. If those words do not tell the story and help the story along, please don't plague the reader with that jargon, because there's no point. If your story didn't have it, it didn't have it. It's not natural flow. You're trying to like push it, it just doesn't work well. So you kind of have to
don't pad.
And people pad a lot, and then that's when you'll get that feeling right there, like this story should have been shorter, or this story should have been longer because it seems like it's missing blah blah blah. Because either they forced the less numbers in order to try to write a short story, but didn't get the full effect of it, and then vice versa. So I think that's when that happens.
I about that. I don't shoot for any type. That's why I don't worry about
it. That's why you shouldn't worry about that. I wrote a crime slash thriller short. It was less than 7K, but readers say it felt longer because it's dense and packed. Well,
that's because your style was probably the bomb.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can manage that, you know what I'm saying? She also said, I want to write a horror short. Those to me are like easy to write. I have a whole compilation of short stories coming out next year is the plan for that. But that one is probably about 25 short horror stories.
Wait a minute.
All of them range inside.
How come I don't have links to your published stuff, girlfriend?
Almost all my published work is short story or novella length. Now I'm focusing solely on novel length stuff.
I'm looking at you, Persephone.
Oh, hey, Josie. She's in the chat. Can't get back on the live stream, a lot going on. It's cool, no worries. Thanks for popping in the chat with us. So I self-post my poems and on YouTube. That's Cecily. Yeah, that's cool.
What do you mean now? How do you do? Are you saying like you're reading them on YouTube or something? I want to know now.
Probably, I would imagine. Or you could do, text on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Text on the screen with music or not music or whatever. I did.
I can't read mine on screen. I can't read them.
Yeah, so
I would have to look something.
Probably what she means. Persephone said, "I don't worry about word counts either. The work is what length it needs to be, and it's all good." Agreed. You get a better story that way. Never fluff up the book. You gotta tell people that, but they do it. That's one of the great things about self-publishing. You can disregard some of the rules of traditional publishing. You're right. You can take them and know them, but you can break them if you so choose.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Leora, you back?
I think traditional publishing rules or whatever are, good information to have and learn from, but
You don't
nothing
have
in the
to.
creative world is a rule. It's a guideline.
Thank you. They call them rules, but we
And
know they're
it's
guides.
okay. It's even okay when they call them rules because it's not something we as indie publishers have to 100% concern ourselves with. I 100% believe that you need to know what's out there, how people are thinking, what they're thinking, but that does not mean you have to make somebody else's rules your rule.
Mm-hmm.
I will.
Bye, Lucy.
I don't do that. That's the same way I feel about people worrying about like grammar Nazis and stuff like that. I'm big on people's style too. And your style
Right.
would be a certain way to tell a story. And
Mm.
if your way to tell the story don't include that fucking Oxford comma, then then nobody should be policing you about that because that was your style. It wasn't that you didn't know.
I'm just gonna lock my lips about that one. Lucy has to go. She
Bye.
has some back pains, can't sit up in the chair. So I do
Oh,
hope that you feel better. And yes, 500 words is better than 0 words. So maybe you can get on with us next week.
lay on
Next
your
week
back
when
and
we're
get
on
paid.
Tuesday on
Lay on your back.
Aphrodite's channel. Bye. Thanks.
Love you.
All right. Let's see. She talking to you, your sister Persephone.
What?
Most of it is out of print.
Oh,
Aphrodite Lee. The only two are in 2 different anthologies with Evernight Publishing.
okay.
Um,
All right.
Cecily said, "Yeah, my poems are on YouTube. I record them, add music, and upload them."
Okay, that's what I thought you meant, but I wanted to be sure.
Yep. So
I don't
that's
write
what
poetry
she
anymore. I
meant.
stopped writing poetry when I got out of high school,
Mm.
but I would love to find some of my old poems and read them.
I actually have to release. I actually have I bought a cover for me to release my a collection of poetry. I've been writing poetry since I was a kid, so I have books and books of poetry that I can publish. And I had some of it published in a collection of other authors, all poem books. So I think that was published when I was 19 the first time, and I got published again when I was 21. So I was published a long time ago with poetry, but this is gonna be my first time with novels out. So I'm really excited about that.
Mhm.
I'm so excited to send my book off to my editor tomorrow. We're gonna sprint in 1 minute, everyone. Do another 20 minutes, so we'll come
Yeah,
back at
I know. I know
25.
you got to be excited and nervous at the same time.
I am very much so because everything starts moving then, and I have to plan. And I'm planning my party already. I started saving stuff on Amazon for the decorations and stuff because mine's gonna be like classic, like dress attire because Cagliostro dresses in 3-piece
I
suits
kept
and
seeing
shit
like
and
the
very
Great
regal.
Gatsby with people coming in all, and
Everybody's gotta be dressed up. You're right. It's gonna be like
I'm gonna
lanterns
have a
on
long cigarette
tables and
holder. I'm gonna have my long cigarette
it's
holder.
all in. It's gonna be black, gold, trim, and regal. So
I'm
it's gonna
kind
be
of
fun. And
jealous
I'm
I can't
getting.
be there.
You
Oh
don't know what you
no,
can do. You don't know. You could.
we don't know yet.
You don't know what
Mine
you
wouldn't
can
be
do.
until like the end of next year. Like as I'm looking at like a October release date. But once I know something for sure, then I'll know. Oh, Tamara's here. Hi, Tamara.
Hi.
We're ready to jump in on a sprint, guys. So if you want to join in, please do. I'll count us out. 3, 2, 1, and right. See you at 9:25
Let me see
Eastern
if I can
Standard
fix
Time.
this shit that I got myself into.
Hey DL, we just went in sprint, so if you want to jump and start writing, go for it.
I got like a billion fucking tabs open on my computer, so I'm gonna sort through all that stuff first.
You good? Do you do?
He just scared to jump in because I got him.
Alec had to go due to a friend's emergency, so he will join us next Tuesday. Aphrodite, so so you can send him the link to join us next week since you'll be hosting, because he had to go sadly. So, but he told me to tell everybody bye.
That time?
And that's time. Yep.
I did it. Look, I looked up in enough time. Ooh, some scenes. Ooh.
Yeah. Now you get into it. I wasn't even paying attention to the time. Too into what I was doing.
Ooh, 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 ooh. I was too busy. Look, I was sitting here glad I'm brown. So y'all couldn't see me blushing. See,
You too funny.
let's see. I don't know how many is on this one because I did more than one scene. Hold on.
Thank you, Persephone, telling everyone to like our stream. Thank you. Leora, look like Leora has something happening. Somebody getting on her nerves. So I was doing so well, had the flow and everything, and then this guy showed up at Nana's house and pissed me right off, and now I'm blocked.
Oh shit. Ah.
Yeah, he's a guest who stays here at night, a few nights a week, and he's leaving his cup in the sink every day and just wanted to act and put it in the dishwasher, and he interrupted me halfway through, and he's like, "Wait, why this jump?" And he's like, I'll work on that." For the jacket.
Oh wait, he gonna disrupt you and be flipped? Oh, tell him he can't have it both ways. I'll be damned.
Like, what the hell? I wasn't finished telling you. We also have a sponge. Like, why are you leaving your cup in there? Then, some people be a guest and don't. They act like the opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Hashtag pouring out. I feel it.
All right, y'all want to hear my fantastic numbers?
Yeah, go for it.
I got four. I'm gonna say 425. It was either 425, 475. Hold on. I want to know for sure because this is Stewie. I got 475 on one and 850 on the other, and I'm not mathing, but I'm saying that's over 1,000.
She's not mathing. Everyone, you can post your numbers and I'll put them in the comments. What did you do, Stewie?
What did I get? I wasn't writing.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know if
I had a bunch of tabs open and I was going.
You had to
through
get
all
ready. We'll probably still be able to fit like two
No,
more
no,
20 minutes on.
Next sprint, I'm not writing, so I can let Stewie catch it.
Oh, I'm way ahead of you from fucking Sunday.
No, Sunday don't count.
It does count. That was the gauntlet.
Sunday, then I won.
You got like 300 and something words, and I got like 4,000 and something.
But I wasn't there for the whole thing. You ain't.
I wasn't either. So see, I'm
up.
joining in more than what you did.
I'm being gracious and letting you catch up.
You guys are too much.
I gave you 8 hours after you got on to catch up.
True.
No, but you distracted me with sparkly shit because you started talking about maps, and you know that's my kryptonite.
Well, I found that out that night. I didn't know that was your kryptonite. Yeah, I thought Q Boys was.
But that my kryptonite.
She got a few. So
a Q Boy disruption would have caused me to have to turn the camera off.
Oh man.
Someone sent me an email today talking about, are you still looking for pretty white boys for your film?
Why you gonna be trying?
Why you had to be all like? Why you had to go there though? Like, why you couldn't say, are you still looking for guys?
They know what you into, so stop.
It's not about what I'm into. It was about like the damn film. But I'm like, is this a real email? Like, I had to look at it. And
everybody.
I'm not sure.
Like, don't show up here if you're not pretty and a white boy. They probably been telling everybody that.
They must be saying it just like that too, because I'm not sure what you mean.
I bet you that's what they told them, and then they were like, "Listen, okay, everybody gonna know about you. No secrets anymore." Sapphire Closet, finally get chapter 7. Got chapter 7 at a going to bed now. It's 2 a.m. here. All right, good night, Sapphire.
Okay, good night.
Good job. Carol said almost done with the draft. Leora said 208 words. Steven 345. Tamara said I'm almost done with this chapter. Good. And Leora is also cheering on your guys fighting. So
Yeah, well, Alec ain't here, so Leora picked up the reign.
I got about 392 this sprint. I got 438 last time because I didn't even say last time. So let's see what I get in the next one. Next two. I'm trying to
The
at least
next
do two
one,
more.
I am not. I'm going to be writing, but I'm not writing to the story. I'm writing towards the Bible and the world building. So I'm not counting those words.
Okay, whatever you say. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think that would be fair. Is the people in the book will never even see it.
Oh, I looked up earlier. I have like 5.5 hours left this month of streaming.
How were you able to look it up?
It popped up a message saying I was nearing the end, and I could click it, and it tells you exactly how many hours you've already spent.
That's good to know.
It was like 14 hours and 36 minutes and something.
We lost our minds the other night.
I was like, well, that's like 5.5 hours almost for 2 streams. 2 hours on one and 3 on the other. That'd be all right. That's
you're good.
Average.
You still got to.
I was supposed to say usually we do about 2 hours unless we go 10. So yeah.
Stream y'all be like, look, I gave you 20.
Everybody's trying to come for the look. Tamara said, Leora, like, want us to beat him up? That guy. I thought he was about to come for you, Dio. Oh, yeah, we all, I guess we had all come for that guy.
Look, we'll come beat him up. Ain't nobody scared.
Scared that you messing with
a damn cup.
I guess he'll put his cup away. He'll put his cup away after getting taken care of. Or he won't. Or he won't. And then somebody else put it away because he messed up. Like,
he'll figure it out by the time we get done with him.
Oh, my goodness, I can't. So, seriously, though, what does he think? My grandmother is going to wash his cup? Probably. He probably don't care. You put too much thought into it. Like, he not thinking that.
The next time the cup is sitting there, put the cup on his lap. And if he says something like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, it don't belong there just as much as it don't belong where you put it.
Well, it would be better if he had, like, that was the only cup he drank out of. And when he put it in the sink and you cleaned your sink, your other dishes, and you picked his cup up, put it on the side, cleaned your sink, cleaned your dishes, and took his cup and set it back in the sink. That's what you do. I mean, I run a cleaning business, and if people don't pay for the dishes to be done, which is a little bit extra, granted, it's very cheap, extra-wise, I come in their house, they already signed this contract that states that I don't clean your dishes for free. I come in the house, and there's, like, glasses and plates and stuff, and we not on the up and up, really. You just, like, I don't know what you about. So I take your dishes, pick them up, take them out of the sink, set them to the side. I clean your sink. I stainless steel your sink if it's stainless steel. I take your dishes, put them back in the sink, stacked very neatly, and then that's what happens.
Yeah, because they expect it. Because this one girl.
Because if I do it, then they're gonna expect it, and when I don't do it, they be like, "Well, you didn't do this." Well, you didn't pay for that, so
right.
Bye.
When I was in my 20s, I used to do temp cleaning services. Like, they'll go out and say, "Hey, we need 3 other people. Can you go?" And I would do that. And I went to this one lady's house. First of all, oh my God, people. Whew. I went to her house, and they wanted me to do, like, the counters and wipe up the cabinet fronts, real light kitchen work. And I get in there, like, how am I supposed to be able to do my job when they got the counters covered with shit? The sink is full of dishes and blah blah blah. So I kindly took all that stuff and put it on the what do you call it, the breakfast table. And then I did everything I had to do. And then the girl walked in, and she's like, "Oh, you didn't wipe down the dishes." I was like, "Oh, because I'm not supposed to." Like, really? Is that why y'all left that shit there? And that's how she said it to me, like, real dismissive. I'm like,
let me tell you about cleaning.
You don't have no idea how much I do not.
Dishes aren't included because I don't fucking live here. I am a service. I don't
try to come in and like, oh, don't worry about it, Nancy. I'll get it. I'm like, yeah, she will. I sure did, because I'm like, I didn't care. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Well, I told one client that I wasn't doing it. Her husband kept leaving dishes, and she would be out of town working, and he would always leave dishes in the sink. But he'd be the first one complaining about something like, "Could you not stand up my remote that's in the bathroom?" Stupid shit like that. Like, well, you got TV in the bathroom, so I stood it up. Could you not tell them not to stand up things in the bathroom? Like, All right. Could you not move my coffee machine away from the edge of the sink where it is? I'm like, listen, dude.
Wow.
Okay.
How you supposed to clean?
Okay. That's cool. I won't move your shit. Don't worry about that. Could you tell them not to put the top on my water bottle that's by the window?
Oh, that's
listen. So we did that, and then all of a sudden he was like, they could go back to do it the way they were doing it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Bye, bitch. Like that. People stupid. What can I say?
One thing I will give my boss, because I really didn't care. Like there was no way she wasn't. If the girl had came into the kitchen, she was a young girl. She was like 20 years old. If she had came in and said, "Hey, could you do that?" I probably would have. But that's not what she did. And then when my boss came and said her little bit, like, "Oh, I'll get it," I was like, "Yes, she will."
That's right.
And
yeah, if he a guest, then he should definitely be cleaning up behind himself.
One thing I will give her is that she didn't turn around to me and be like, the next time somebody says something, she just went on and did it. I'm like, don't worry about that, because ain't nobody talking down to me just because of what I'm doing. She's standing around in a filthy kitchen. She should be ashamed that I came in there. I would have been ashamed to have that kitchen.
No, people don't care about that shame thing. Some people care, but those people that's like that actually are not like ashamed in the least bit. Are we gonna start a sprint at 9:40, guys, and then we're gonna do a 20, run to the top of the hours, and then we'll do one more.
I hope I live long enough to have people who help me do cleaning and all other stuff. I hope I live long enough to make that much money.
Mm-hmm.
But I will still not have no trifling shit like that.
Yeah, most of my clients are really nice people, and they actually think about the people that are clean. They're coming to clean their house. One of my clients is extremely well above that. Like, she really thinks about people as this their job and this is their pay and blah blah blah. She's a little above grade on like thinking about others. Some of my clients, not always, but most of my clients are really good. But I've come across people who are no longer my clients who expect all kinds of stuff for free and then get upset. They think somehow I'm a contractor. I come in and clean. They think that whatever the price is that they're paying, even though we signed the contract, and I also have a paper that they sign telling them exactly what they get in the standard, because that's what they're paying for, not a deep. They think that I can just throw me a little note sometimes. Could you do this? Sure. If you pay this price for it. So they think they could do that, and then they want to get mad. One woman actually got mad because I wouldn't do her interior windows for free. So when I came in to clean, but she said, well, I gave her a price. She was like, well, that's too much. I'll just do it myself. That's cool. That's what she should have done to begin with. And then she was like, left all her windows open when it was in the winter. Mm-hmm. And I come in, her sliding doors open, all her windows open. I'm sitting there like, this bitch think I'm going to clean them shits because she rolled them up.
You know what?
That's not going to happen.
Just like she left a little note saying, can you do this? Mm-hmm. I would have left a note showing the price list.
That's exactly what I did, but they want to get mad.
So I didn't ability to do that. Yes, I do.
Dude, I didn't clean them windows. I cleaned the house like I usually do. And you know what happened? As soon as I got home, I got a text from her. She like tried to she said, oh, I found this my toilet brush holder, which the brush holder that the toilet brush sits in, the holder. Oh, she said it was dust on it. This dust was on it. It actually was old hair that couldn't come off. Like, I've cleaned it before just because to help her out. I don't have to do detailed cleaning unless you request it and pay for it. So she was like, oh, I found this toilet brush holder and took a picture of it. It had some dust on it. I'm like, well, that dust not coming off unless I deep clean that toilet brush holder, because that's how long you had it sitting there and never wiping it off, lady. So I don't want to hear you. Okay. So she was like, and I found the drop of coffee stain underneath my coffee pot. I'm like, you mean the coffee pot your father came in when we were leaving to fix coffee? He's like, guys, I'm going to fix a cup of coffee and I'll see you later. So you mean that coffee that dropped from him making coffee? You mean that coffee drop? Yeah, I don't care about that because I'm not your living maid. And she was like, well, I want a refund. I'm like, where in my contract did I tell you I give you a refund for you being an asshole? Okay.
She wanted some after the fact shit. That's some crazy.
No, let me tell you something. She wasn't trying to get no refund. She was trying to be extra. And then she was trying to get out her contract. She became she was monthly, but I have it where you have to give me a 60-day notice or whatever. So she wanted to get out of contract. She pissed me off that I wouldn't come back. She was correct in that because there's no way I want to come back to your house and clean it when I know you're wrong. So I told her, I said, guess what? I don't do refunds, and you know I cleaned your house. Unless I didn't clean your house and walked out of it, you're not getting a refund, first off, Miss Cheapo. Okay? Bye. I don't want to hear that. There's no refund in my contract. If I was going to give you a refund, it would have been placed. If you aren't satisfied with my service, I will give you a full refund. Never and ever would I say that.
Nobody would be satisfied. That's why. Everybody would have a problem if you had that in
That's
there.
why I run my own business. I don't have to do nothing. Nobody tell me to do, and I do what I want to do. I've been in this business for 25 years, so I know what I'm talking about. So don't come at me. If I scrub your poop out of the toilet, don't come at me about no price that you decided to pay me. So I don't want to hear you. Bye. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start our sprint. So we're gonna do a 20-minute. So we will return at 10 o'clock. And then we will chat for a little bit, and then we're going to jump on one last one, which we're probably going to do 15 minutes. Just one of Stewie numbers, because Stewie likes 15 minutes.
Well,
we're going to do a 15.
All Sunday.
I know you did. You were like 20 minutes, but he said, I'm going to do 20 for y'all. But the last 15 will be for him.
It wasn't my fault.
I was there, but
tonight
for
wasn't
like 2
my fault
hours.
either.
Right, true.
This is true. True that.
We'll have a legit battle royale. We will get it together when we're all in sync. We will.
This is true. We'll get it together. It's okay. All right. So see you guys at 10. Happy writing. 3, 2, 1, and write.
I'll be right back.
Time. Mm-mm. Let's see here. I did 567 words that time. How did you guys do?
I did good. I'm just having a little bit of trouble.
Got 629.
Words.
Good job.
I don't know how many actual words. I don't even care.
What word would you said something about you needed help with a word or something?
Okay.
Or did
So
you figure it out?
yeah, I guess either I'm spelling it wrong or it doesn't really exist and I've been using it. But wait, I'm trying to go back to the sentence. Unlike the first female to betray him, he delighted in the fact that regardless of this torturous, that's not a word?
Torturous.
Or is it torture-esque? Let's see. Something I'm doing wrong
True.
because
Yeah, it's a word.
it's telling me it ain't a word.
Torturous.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably missing the OU, maybe the
I
OUS.
totally spelled it wrong.
Yeah, TRTUOUS.
Right. I feel a little bit better because I'm like, isn't that a word? That's a word, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I told you the other day, for anytime I don't know how to spell the word, I just open up Google and I'm like, torturous.
But I did. I it had the red line, right? So
Yeah.
you know how you highlight it and then click. Okay, what is it? It said, "Bitch, we don't know what you're trying to write. We don't know what this word is."
I know. I have that happen to me all the time.
It does it all the time.
And what
So
opposers? That's not a word.
What is it?
Opposers. More than one opposer. If you know
so
what,
opposer plural.
Posers.
nah.
Posers. Because
So
it'll be
I gotta
opposed.
find another word for opposers, like or usurpers or something like that. I need another word because it is not a word. Apparently.
And which way are you using it?
Girl, I got so many words in brackets that need to be changed. Hold on. Let me see if I can read it out loud first.
Are they attackers?
There
Or are
you go.
they?
So he was alone in a battle that he was forced to pursue, and the fact that he was relentless in his task proves that he was right and that his opposers were at fault.
I know I've used in a
Mind
battle.
you, I have
Assailant.
forced, right? Those are in brackets because they're getting changed because I don't want to use forced, and I'll probably use correct, like prove that he was correct.
Maybe you could use assailants. I don't know.
Because they're not,
How'd
they
you
were
spell
actually opposers. So I need a word that means opposer, 100% means opposer. Because these people, they were absolutely the opposition.
I was supposed to say Google's showing that's a word.
It is showing them spell what they said on Google. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong.
OPPOSERS.
Yeah, that's what I have. It says it's not a word.
Sometimes it depends on which program you use. Sometimes it's not picking it up.
All right, so I'm taking it out of brackets. If it's a word, I'm using it because
Yeah. One that opposes another in battle, contest, controversy, or debate.
it literally is lit up. APPOSERS.
Yep.
I don't know then.
Sometimes it's.
I was supposed to say it depends on the program at times.
Wait a minute. The attempted takeover of an annihilation of his own people. This is punishment? No, this is not fair. His fury was just, and they deserved it. His birthright was taken from him, and no one cared or sincerely defended his right to it. He was alone in a battle that he was forced, yeah, I'm changing that, forced to pursue. I'm going to put like forced upon him. And the fact that he was relentless in his task proves that he was correct and that his opposers were at fault. That's better, right?
That's pretty good.
All right, I'm changing that to that. So word wise, what do we have? Hold on. What is that? 631.
631. Good job.
But I still got a lot more words. Like I can't read these. Damn it. This scene is ridiculous. I still have a lot more words in brackets that need to go. I need help, guys. It is hard for me to write these kind of scenes. Like, he is pissed off and he is going through where he's talking about, yeah, maybe I did kill all them babies, but it was, and they needed to die because their fathers didn't like me, kind of attitude.
Leora said, you can say any who opposed him, because I'm looking up opposers and I'm not getting it that is spelled that way, or that it's used. I think you can use it, but I'm not seeing that when you look up.
When I found it,
yeah,
it says opposers, but then it just shows the definition of opposer without the S.
Right.
I mean, that would just be single.
Fuck.
Right.
So that's.
But I mean, I see
opposed. When I checked it, it said there's
opposing. I see opposing, and I don't really see where you can use opposers.
I need.
What you need to do, you might need to reword that in order to use the word oppose. But
then that would change the tense if I do an ED.
Yeah, it's going to change the tense. What tense are you writing in?
Oh god, what's the synonym for opposers? More than one opposer. What's a synonym for that? Because nothing is coming up for me. And now I can't fucking find it. Hold on.
See, the problem with it is you would have to reword it and use those opposing him, or something like that. That tells you is multiple people who are opposing. But I don't think you can. I don't really see opposer as posers or poser. Poser is, but posers as plural is not something I see.
This is
so
not.
You'd be taking a chance.
Because he's talking to himself. So picture it like that. Like he's reminding himself, like, hey, I had to do this and I had to do that and I had to do the other, and they were wrong. So it's another, like, it's like a they.
Maybe
foes. But also, if it's like dialogue, it wouldn't have to be completely.
I mean, correct. Related words to oppose is, like I said, I use assailants in some cases when I'm talking about when I'm in the middle of battle, like my character's battling people who are assailing him. So assailant.
They weren't. People who were like physically attacking him like an assailant would. They were
right.
Everything about.
Well, they could be foes.
Adversary.
Yeah. Foes.
The adversary is another word, because there's quite a few words you could use in that instance. But
let me see. Force to pursue, and the fact that he was relentless in his task proves that he was correct, and that his foes. Yeah, that won't work either. Damn, we're fault. The people who, like, he's a prince. He had firstborn rights of a firstborn prince to be the next king. And his father passed him over. And because his father passed him over, which they don't have the whole, you have to be the king because you're firstborn, but it still usually fell that way. And because his father passed him over, he felt slighted. And so the people that he had that kind of backed away from him when he got passed over. So, and then on top of that, then they joined with the brother and they joined with the father's decision to oppose him. Whereas his brother did not. His brother was actually the one on his side, so that's a different point. They were absolute opposers. I can't think of a word. They were opposers.
Well, you could use the word opposition, but you'd have to reword a little bit, because opposition actually means what you're saying.
Right.
It can be a person or a group of people opposing, criticizing, or protesting something or someone or another group. But you'd have to reword it a little bit for him to use that word. But he would be saying what you're saying those people are who are opposing him.
The fact that he was relentless in his task proves that he was right, and his opposition for
those of an opposition, or those. So you probably have to really reword that.
Okay, how about this? To blah blah blah, to pursue and the fact that he was relentless in his task proves that he was correct and the opposition were at fault.
You could, because that's what opposition means, the people that you're trying to describe that he's saying. So you could use it that way. But I mean, it's very literal in the fact that you would have to obviously know what that means when people read that. It works because it says what you want it to say, but again,
but it doesn't. It's not getting across the way it says exactly what I'm trying to say. You're right, but I need for him to say his, and then they.
Unfortunately, you might have to go more layman's term if you're going to use it that way. Like if you're going to have him speak that way, he might have to go more layman's term and be more direct and basic speaking. Maybe I don't know what his way he talks, so I don't know the way he speaks. So you would have to really sit there and think about.
Oh my God! It's telling me even a poser isn't a word.
Well, poser
it's
is a
saying
word.
Oppose is a word.
I'm sure a poser they use that, but no, I guess they don't really use it in that context.
You know what? That's really crazy to me. You know how we end up using words that really end up being like, wait, what?
I know.
All right, conflict, competition, pitted against, compete, and battle is the only thing that's coming up for oppose. They weren't pitted against him. They chose the side against him. It was opposed. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, you just have what you need to do. You do have to rewrite that line to fit your tense and what he needs to say, because what you're trying to use isn't going to work in your tense, it seems.
I'm just mad. I'm mad at the word, and I'm saying I'm about to coin this bitch.
That's too much.
I'm so mad because it's perfect, and I was shocked that it wasn't a fucking word. Okay.
Yeah, and like with dialogue, people don't talk in actual words all the time, anyways. A lot of people say like towards with an S.
Inner dialogue.
An S on it.
Watching. Basically, I'm just going to tell you what's going down with him right now is he's the general of the army. I'm using our terms, not the book terms. He's the general of the Gon's army, but he's been having relations with Gon's woman. Okay. And he's thinking this whole time he was getting over because he's having sex with her, having a good old time with his life, and come to find out that he was being set up the whole time because Gon knew and basically told her, yeah, sleep with him, see if he will. And if he does, let me know. So I know that I can't trust him because he's a betrayer. So Gon kind of steps in on him and like, hey, yeah, as he's about to have sex with her. And instead, for his punishment, instead of killing him, he says, I'm going to make you watch. So he has to stand there and watch while Gon actually has sex with this woman. And he pretends not to love this girl, but he actually does love her. So he's standing there, and it's a whole bunch of other stuff that I really can't say on camera because they aren't human. So it's a lot going on. And so he has to stand there and watch it, and it's killing him. And he's like, what did I do to deserve this? So he's playing everything back from the first time some bitch hurt him, that is how he put it, to right now this one is hurting him. And then his boss, who is probably going to kill him after he makes him watch it, and he feels as though, why don't he just kill me? Why is he giving me this extra torture? Haven't I gone through enough? Didn't I have to go through all this crap with my family, blah, blah, blah. So he's saying all this stuff in his head while he's being forced to watch.
Yeah.
And so that's why the tense is weird.
Okay, but it's inner dialogue. So, I mean, DL's right in that instance that people don't, always. They speak how they speak in their mind. Rather it's high intellectual or it's just in between or low or just whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I could say, and those who opposed me were at fault.
Good. Yeah. He's talking to himself. Yeah. He's talking to himself, so he's not like talking to somebody else that needs to hear it. So you could say
no, that. And he don't even want anybody to think he has these kind of feelings.
Well, that makes sense what you just said the way you read it that way. It makes sense that he would say that to himself in that way.
Those who oppose me were at fault.
Yeah, Leora was still trying to give you some stuff, so she said stand against him, so those type of things. But just think what you said works.
Stood against. Yeah, stood against me. That works. Yeah. Works too.
Yeah, that's why I said try to use more basic. You can use more basic
He
speak,
just doesn't
then more
talk like that.
complicated.
That's why it'd be a little weird.
That's why I asked you. I
He's a
said,
little more
how does he
He's
speak?
kind of he's a prince. Even
I
though
was gonna say, how does he
right
speak?
now he's a general in this army, he
Mm.
still was raised the way he was raised.
Right.
So he's going to be his stature and all this, and the opposed.
Yeah, like these type of things. It's like when you're writing, like try to remember how your character develops and or speaks and things like that. Because I have to remember, like when I had like parts of Cagliostro talking in the book that he would, you know, how we have words where we say, we have the conjunction words that go together, so you don't have to bother with the other word. Let's say they are
instead of cannot.
Right. Or they will say they are. When you in old speech, they wouldn't cut that word. It would be like they are. If they were going to say that, then they wouldn't say there, like we would use now when we're writing no.
Distractions and they're
So,
not
right. It wouldn't be the same. So I in some of the parts of like the past stuff, I would have him saying the words all the way. But see, the problem is I'll have to probably put a note in with my manuscript to my editor and say these sections where it's past with him talking, I have those words that way for that reason, and I didn't have the matchup to how he speaks now because he's been alive for so long.
Though, because
she might. That's the only parts I've done it right.
His speech is going to go through some changes because
he's been alive so long. Yeah. So he gets with the program. Let's say he gets with the program and he still speaks. He speaks as time went on and learned and changed with time, because that's just how it works. You know, they do a lot of vampire stuff because vampires usually the first thing people go to with age, and they'll be like, my speech never changed. I'm like, that's not really believable unless they weren't around humans at all. But they'll have ones that's around humans all the time, and then they'll just like still speak the old way just because I guess they're trying to be defiant maybe or something like that, or like saying no one changes. But it's not the same concept as a human who doesn't change when they get to X amount of years and we're set in our ways type of thing. They assume that would apply to a being of supernatural. I don't think so.
Did a good job with that. I know you remember this. I know for a fact. Remember the TV show Forever Night? Every time
the whole series,
his past, you always got like old English because of how he
right. He was in that time period. That's the way he spoke. So that's kind of like what I was trying to exact in that. I couldn't exactly use old English in that setting since it's based on our world, but it's also alternate, where I don't state that it's alternate. It's just that it is. So you don't necessarily follow our exact like old English. Right. I don't really specifically say what his accent is. That just that he has one to people. So I don't state like which part of the words from.
First of all, they're not from this realm, let alone this planet. But the time period is still
it's based to our time period, funnily though, but it's alternate.
It's like a 20-year span, so nothing about their speech is going to change. So the commoners still sound different than the royals, and you can tell that. Like that's one of, if you're reading the story, and I do this kind of stuff on purpose. If you're reading the story, you can tell if you're paying attention that there's something up with Ahriman. He isn't like the rest of them, the commoners. So why isn't he? And if you're listening to him, it's just a different breed about him. He's not like the other soldier. But why is he a soldier if he's anything else? And you're just like, something's up. It's the same thing with like, I always have tells in my stories and Shattered. Whenever the elevator was involved, whenever Leah got on that elevator, you knew something was going to happen. If you paid attention, you knew something was going to happen, because the elevator is like the red signal, like in The Sixth Sense, when every time something red showed up.
You know, something's up. A lot of people
the elevator is Aaliyah's.
Yep.
And if you pay attention to that, you realize like, oh shit, you know, the elevator.
Something's going down. The elevator shows up.
Even if subconsciously you don't catch it consciously, subconsciously it's still an indicator. It's
still an indicator. I get you. Leora is talking to you, Aphrodite. Leora said, Klaus says that phrase all the time, and you know what kind of king he is. True that. True. Guys, we're not going to be able to pull off another sprint because I do have to go real soon. So I'm going to let us do our close out. We did get 3 sprints in. but I'll have to run because I do have errands I do this time of night. So
You know what, Carol, you might be right because I gotta check into that.
yeah. So
I really
I was
want
gonna
to
say,
use that. I really want to use this.
yeah. All right. So Stewie, did you want to do your closeout? Since you did join, you still get the closeout.
I'm D.L. Stewart. I write adult medieval fantasy for the mostly. I do a little bit of other things. My debut novel, The Battle for Medagore, is currently available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and a bunch of other places. You can go check that out. And you can follow me on social media. Everything's D.L. Stewart author. So yeah.
That's all right. His links are below if you guys want to check out DL's book. It is very good. You should definitely check it out. Really good fantasy.
Really?
Aphrodite, do you want to go for it?
Yeah, I'm Aphrodite Lee. I have a book out called Shattered. The title really does encompass what it's about. So it's shattering. I have I think the links are below.
Yes.
I can't see, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure
Shattered,
below.
Shattered, and so is your Aliases book.
Right, and it's available on Amazon. And then Minx Kenosha, my alter ego, which is erotica.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not grown, don't read it, please. I would
and
never.
If you can't take the heat, don't read it.
It's crazy, and it was meant to be from the first page to the last page kind of thing. So, I think that's all I got going on. Come to my Patreon and come hang out because I got new stories coming up for 2020, and that's going to be fun. I'm going to have some inclusive stories where people can come in, jump in, add to it. Just a good old party.
Yeah, good times. I'm over there on Patreon, on her Patreon. So it's really she has a lot of cool stuff running on there. I really have to follow up with you about trying to stay on top of my Patreon. I really don't. I don't have any patrons except for one, but I need to keep up with it more. I know, right? I need to keep up with it more. I used to keep up with all my stuff scheduled. That's the only thing I don't.
It's not easy to keep up with when you got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah, I have a lot going on, but I'm going to start scheduling. If I pre-schedule, I should be good. But I'm going to start doing pre-loaded videos since I found out I could just do live streams privately and then I can release my videos. So before I even have to get software. So I'm going to start pre-doing my videos again, which is really fun. All right, but I'm author DL Tillery, and this is my challenge. You guys know, if you haven't subscribed, please do, and throw me a like on this video. Also, this stream will be on Aphrodite's channel next week. As you don't know that we swap back and forwards for our stream for Tuesdays. I do a checkup right now, currently on Saturday, to let you guys know how my December Nano is going. So please look for that video on Saturday. It's probably going to be a checkup and not a live stream, so there won't be any sprints or anything. But I will be letting you know how I'm going with my Room Within, trying to finish that up for my naval lease.
I have the indie checkup on Thursday.
Cool. I know you have yours on Thursday, so look for Aphrodite's checkup on Thursdays as well. So we will be back on Tuesday next week, unless Stewie is doing a write-in on Sunday. If he is, and we probably will try to join him.
He used up all his time.
No, I canceled mine for Sunday. I'm doing a stream Saturday instead.
Oh, okay, cool.
Since that's my birthday and it's not gonna have any writing. Just gonna be some chit chat and
hanging out.
It's my birthday.
I got 2 in real life friends, locally. Well, not local, but people I actually know in real life, outside of the internet, that's going to join me as well on that stream.
Yep. So, if you guys want to hang out with Stewart on his lovely birthday on Saturday, you can pop in on that stream and learn about a bunch of crazy stuff that he did, because he did some crazy stuff. I'm just telling y'all. So you need to hear all about it.
Those two know it the most. One of them was my partner in crime, so much so he did his time for it. And then the other one was the one that's like, y'all don't need to do that. We'll be all right.
I
was all right.
I think we should get a shirt. I think DL needs to get a shirt that he coins that you'll be all right, on the shirt, and then that should be some of your writer swag or something. DL.
Sunday he was like, she'll be all right.
Be don't stress. You should make a shirt don't stress your deadlines. You be all right. That's
be all right. We need to have a merch store where we just get together and like put our favorite
The
shirts.
DL line and be like, you be all right, line and stuff.
I'm
That
the
should be
good guy in
awesome.
the group. I know that was a big ordeal.
He thinks getting away with stuff makes him the good guy. He's the Eddie Haskell of the damn group.
No, like stop. That's not even no.
Oh yeah.
Eddie.
Too much.
But I
All right,
wasn't
guys.
instigating all the stuff though. I just
That's
went
true.
along
You
with
don't always instigate it,
No,
but you
you
went
just
along
you just
with
logged it
though.
all for the world to see.
Okay.
Where
Go along with it.
incriminate
He
yourself.
made sure everyone knew what was happening.
But
That's
he ain't
all.
in them pictures. He makes sure he didn't incriminate himself. That's
Smart.
Eddie fucking Haskell.
True.
I
We'll
knew
get
nobody
on
else would
that.
take the pictures, so oh well.
How creative white boys are at trying to kill.
That's another shirt right there that D always says. It'd be like, didn't meet your deadline? Oh well. We're gonna make like a DL writer
Oh
shirt.
well.
I'll be your manager, DL. I'll be like, look, this is what we gonna do. This is what we going to do. I got it right here.
We got to have a talk about this. We got to have a meeting, a business
We
meeting.
do. We do. Oh, and Tamara said, your stream, are we drinking? She said, are we drinking?
Y'all can. I don't drink ever, so I'm not.
So everybody else apparently can.
So
My
Alex
time, I
said
won't
he's gonna
be.
show up drunk.
I ain't be got no money to get no alcohol. I wish I did. Because I'm
The other
A
Derek
few people be sober.
might be. I don't know. I don't know if he's got any alcohol or not. If he does, I'm sure he'll be drinking.
wait. Will there be birthday cake? I'm just like,
If I pick it myself, maybe. It's
I'm
not gonna be any lap dances.
gonna have to buy me a little
None
cake.
of those, huh?
Oh Lord,
I
y'all
got
don't know
birthday
about the lap dances. Y'all just don't know. Y'all not ready.
You're not ready for the ones you
I
had
can't wait for
going
his
on.
friends to be on there and see how much. Look, just think about all that he told. Can you imagine?
Dude, oh my God. It's too much. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We're going to get out of here. But we will see you at Stewart's lovely birthday, whether you drunk or not, stream on Saturday. Please look for that.
I'm gonna get
Ding.
something to drink. I'm gonna have to.
And then see us on Tuesday next week. All right, guys. Bye.
And Thursday this week.